Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And it is Saturday. Today is the day, the BOLO day. We all look forward to it. It's a day where we show sales highlights for the last week over on eBay. We got a lot of them this week. It's been a highlighty kind of week. And we go deep dive into what they are, how you'll find them out there, why they sold. And Mr. Magazine's got some treasures as usual.
All right, first up, if you like books or puzzles.
It's wintertime, and you'll be sitting by a fireplace. Nothing better to do than an Agatha Christie book and puzzle mystery.
Wow, this is good marketing. I already sold this. You don't have to try and sell it again.
I forgot it.
Agatha late. Christie, book and puzzle mystery, Jigsaw, Incredible Thief, 1,000 pieces, and it is new in box.
Right, and that's one of the keys, I think, is the fact that it's new in box because...
They know it's complete, hopefully. If it's not complete, it's the manufacturer's.
It's the manufacturer's issue, yeah. Although, unfortunately, you'll still get blamed for it.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But this wasn't bad. I was asking 55, took 48. Can't argue with that. So, but you can see them out there. But again, I guess if it's used and someone, it's $5 somewhere, I would still take a chance.
Yep.
Next up, Analog Computing Magazine, Atari 1200 XL. These are always popular. This is the 10th issue from 1983, and I think I took a $20 offer on this, but cool cover. And they're out there, a little limited, but like if you could scrap them up for $1 or $2, or I would definitely do that.
Well, and this is the kind of magazine that you'll find a lot of at one point because somebody would have been into
a whole
it.
Pile of them.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
And they may have other cool early Nintendo ones or whatever. And
those can be worth some big money.
From all of them,
What to look for on the Nintendo ones?
The posters inside, any cards, anything that was inserted. Definitely check on those as well.
Yep. Not that you wouldn't buy it for $1 a piece if they're early, but they're worth really good money if they've got all the inserts.
Definitely. All right, next up, we are relisting old items and relisting them as new, and we are selling them like this. Playboy Cakes Wilton Party Pan, this one for $22. Like I said, had it 10 years ago and never sold. We found it in an old box, relisted it, and it sold in a week.
Yep, and that's one of those things I think we've talked in the past about how listings get stale on eBay. And I think this kind of shows it because for 10 years nobody wanted it. Mm-hmm. Mr. Magazine relisted it, and it sold within 7 days.
It might have ended or gotten taken off or so not relisted something over the years. Who knows? But again, it was just sitting in a box, and just money sitting in a box. So.
Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Magazine just shot it down.
Next up, this was not sitting in a box. I picked this up from a friend of mine. Red Lindstrom Skeeter Bug Bumper Car Vintage 1930s Tin Windup. And sold for 2 bids, $100.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't look like much. It's rough shape, but I guess it's a very rare piece.
I mean, it's a neat-looking car. I mean, I'm not going to tell you it's not. I mean, that'd be one of those things. What size is that?
Yep, that's the problem we're having with this lister. He keeps forgetting to put the ruler in there.
Well, it comes to showing.
I would say about...
life size.
I'm going to say about 10 inches long.
It's life size.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Exactly. It'd be a heavy piece to ship. Next up, it's football season, playoff time, and the Buffalo Bills are doing well, and so is the Denver Mint piece. It's a plain Boeing 727. I took, I think, $150 on it. I had it up for $180. It was on sale from $200 to $180. But
I don't mean to say anything negative.
Yep.
That's a horrible first picture.
Yes, that's a nice one right there.
Yep.
There you go.
I mean, obviously, you want to show a picture of the box, but that might be when you talk to the lister and say, put the better picture up first.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. You live and learn. This was also sitting in a drawer, and pulled it out and said, geez, I've had this forever. It's still sitting here. Why didn't it sell? It's Officer Cronin, Hellboy, Mesco, 7-inch, $46. Not too shabby sitting in a drawer.
What size? Oh, 7-inch. Okay, yeah. Oh,
all right.
That's frightening. Now I'm going to have nightmares tonight.
I got to look at that every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, 7:30. Next up, another item sitting in the box from 10 years ago. Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling card game with box and instructions.
You can bring these boxes by my house instead of you buy junk boxes by my house.
We got a gold mine just sitting around from 10 years ago. So what we're going through it, and this looks to be complete with what they're showing. But
that's pretty cool.
Very cool. And, it was odd when we saw it. I'm like, how did this not sell? Well, there you go.
What size is the box?
I would believe it'd be 10 inches square at the most.
All right, but so it's not like a small deck of cards or anything.
No, it's
okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think
Interesting.
that's
That's a
me.
very cool looking item, yeah. Well, it's not only football season, it's tax season. And I think I might lead the league in old tax brochures sold. Pay-as-you-go income tax withholding, questions and answers from 1943. It's never too late to file. If your taxes are still not done from 80 years ago, you know where to come to get the information. But this is the kind of thing that you can end up selling out there because nobody else is selling it. And you're not paying anything for it.
Yeah.
You are making the pile at the estate sale. You throw this in there, I guarantee you the estate sale person, the flea market person is not even going to count this item. They're going to look at it and go, oh, okay. Yeah. And they're not going to charge you for it.
If it fell on the floor, they would probably just throw it out.
Exactly. But again, old tax stuff does sell. I think this is the third one that I've sold in the last few weeks, so I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for old tax items. Up next, Sing Along by a Fireplace with the Choir of Windsor, Canada. I don't generally do records. However, I found that these oddball little local type deals, and of course, this is local to Windsor, Canada. I picked this up at a church sale for, I think, 20 cents. Wow. Something like that. And I think I ended up taking a $20 offer on it. And again, I don't do records, but the exception of that is when I'm paying so little on them,
right.
I just grab records like this out there because my thought is how many of these are there out there? Probably not a ton of them out there.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's paid off for me fairly well. Another nice item that I have over here, Geauga Lake, Map and Information Guide, Ohio Amusement Park. It's from a year that will remain a mystery. Somewhere in here.
You're trying hard.
I am trying hard. Oh, right there. And I did not even list the year. It's from the 1990s. I do know that for sure. I don't know why I didn't list the year. That was a mistake on my part. It was from the early 1990s, though. Now, this park has closed. I did take an offer on it of $21. But still, a lot of people wouldn't list this because it's such a new brochure. They would think, oh, who's going to want something from on the other side? It's 30 years old and the park's not around anymore.
Sure.
Great park. I used to go to it growing up all the time, and then Cedar Point bought it and closed it, but that's a whole other story. The Grand Street Follies, a 1929 playbill, James Cagney. I believe he later went on to appear in Cagney and Lacey, right?
No.
Oh. June 17th, 1929. Took a $50 offer on this. Doesn't look like much, as Mr. Magazine says all the time about items. Really doesn't look like much. But again, that's why when you get a pile of playbills, most of the time the person selling them wants them gone. They're going to charge a couple of bucks a piece on them for these older ones, and they're not going to go through them. They just picked up a pile and want them gone, and you can find some treasures in there. Again, 50 bucks on something like this.
Can't argue with that.
Next up, Ghana Reconstructs Magazine. Have you ever had this magazine, Mr. Magazine?
I don't believe so, no.
And this is one of those that you just absolutely need to find the right buyer. And looking at something rather like this selling over here on eBay, can you imagine trying to sell this magazine in 1982?
No.
Exactly. It would, let's just say that you did have your store and you sold magazines. You would put it in that store, and I'd be coming in, if the internet were never invented, you put it in there in 1982, I'd be coming in 2022, and it would still be sitting there for $1.
For sure.
Because, again, what are the odds that somebody wants something about Ghana history in Rochester, New York? Not real high. No. But that's the beauty of the internet, and that's one of the reasons why I buy a lot of these oddball kind of items, because you're reaching a worldwide audience. Worldwide. Up next, the Arnold Primer by Sarah Louise Arnold, 1902. Now, this is about a $20 magazine or book, except it's the Philippine Islands edition. And I did a little bit of research, and I put a high price on it, $68, and I ended up getting the price out of it because it's, as you see right over here, adapted for the Philippine Islands. Now, most of them do not have that on there. And again, it's about a $20 book without that statement on there. One of those deals.
Is it in English or Tagalog?
It's in English. Yeah, no, it's all in English. But if you go through it, it's got pictures from the Philippines as well, which obviously the United States version would not have. And that's one of those that just kind of doing a little extra research made me $40. Because, again, it's not common at all, but who would think that it would sell for extra? But
you should read that one page for us. That would be interesting.
This is a Filipino pony. He is a big pony. He is very strong. How'd I do?
I was hoping for the next line, but okay.
Love theme from Skyjack. And now everybody just paused and hit back. Love theme from Skyjack. Sheet music, piano solo, 1972, Charlton Heston. I did get $25 out of this. And to quote Mr. Magazine, it doesn't look like much. It's literally just a piece of sheet music that opens up. I picked it up in 2021, did some research, couldn't find it on, it was not available on Amazon. Couldn't really find any copies out there, so I threw a $25 price on it, and it ended up selling. So sometimes you just absolutely never know on this kind of stuff. And up next, private listing, Closeup Magazine, lot of 6 with perhaps the worst picture in eBay history.
Well, at least it's specific. I mean, it could have been a blank picture.
6 close-up mags as discussed. Long story short, the person purchasing this was from overseas, and eBay does not have a problem with you putting private listings up for people. I said to him, I said, I don't know. I don't know if eBay is going to allow me to bundle this for you, because sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. I said, I'm going to put them all up in one listing for you. I'll send you the item number. You can purchase that. He said, okay. So I went to do that. And then what I did is I downloaded one of the photos from one of the listings. And I was going to use that as my main photo. And I tried to do it, and the picture was too small, and it wouldn't be able to be listed. And I said, I'm not going to go dig these things out and do this. So I literally grabbed a piece of paper and made the world's worst picture on eBay. I believe I am in the eBay Bad Listing Hall of Fame with this one. But again, and the buyer felt enough because of my positives and felt enough talking to me to trust, because again, you're supposed to have everything pictured that you're selling, et cetera, et cetera. But we also had the email backup, the message backup, so that if I didn't sell him the right thing or send it to him, he had proof what I was supposed to send him. And again, it's very, very low budget, an extremely ghetto listing here, but it got the job done. So do what you got to do on these kind of deals.
They work too often nowadays.
And finally, Janet Ivanovich, lot of 10 paperbacks. I was buying from a dealer friend of mine, and he had 4 boxes filled with paperbacks, and he was selling me other stuff as well, and he just wanted the stuff gone. And I think it would have wound up in a recycling bin had I not purchased it. So I bought these boxes, brought them home, and they were clogging up the living room. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this stuff? So finally I said, well, let me find the same authors and list them together. And that's a good way to get rid of stuff. Again, 10 books I took an $18 offer on it. So they were happy because it's a lot less than retail. And I was happy because it saved it from the recycling bin and made me a couple of bucks as well. So when you do get a lot of the same author, take a chance and list them all together. You absolutely never know what might happen. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. Fun bunch of stuff this week. And hit the like button if you could, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.